The Lumi called them Se'imekewes, saying they came out every night, jumping from tree to tree and stealing clams. Others called them Stiaha, claiming they came out at night to take children who wandered off. The Chinook knew them as Skookum and believed they lived at the peak of Mount St. Helen, only coming down to hunt their favorite food, man. These are all names for the tribe of hairy men, said to live in the vast America wilderness. This tribe and its inhabitants have been known by many names, one of which stands out above all others: Bigfoot. Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, is a mythical creature reputed to possess, among other things, big feet. Supposedly, the Bigfoot tribe is a group of large, nocturnal, Neanderthal-like creatures which are indigenous to the American wilderness. While the creatures have always been popular with original Americans, their popularity with the rest of the population is a relatively recent thing. The term Bigfoot was first coined in 1895 and was attributed to a couple of particularly large and vicious grizzly bears. These Bigfoot grizzlies were far larger than the average bear and were said to eat entire hordes of livestock for a single meal. Thereafter, Bigfoot became a relatively common term to bring up when discussing strange or unusual forest creatures. It wasn't until the 1920s that the term Bigfoot and Sasquatch began to refer to the reclusive forest hominids of myth. The terms were popularized by Indian agent J.W. Burns, who gathered short stories from local Native Americans and published them in Canadian newspapers. In fact, the name Sasquatch was invented by Mr. Burns, who himself derived it from a Halkolaman term for forest people, Saskets. These articles sparked a great fire in the minds of people and became a favored topic for explorers and publicity seekers throughout North America. Expeditions were launched, sightings were reported, and people seemed convinced that Sasquatch would be the scientific community's next big discovery. Obviously, these people were incorrect. Despite all the searching, not a single hair was found to belong to these mysterious beasts, and, as with all things, public interest eventually waned. Today, there are a few people who still believe and search for the reclusive Bigfoot, and the number of believers shrinks every day. It certainly doesn't help that there have been so many hoaxes and publicity scams centered on the existence of the creature. One of the most famous examples of a Bigfoot scam is the one perpetuated in 2008 by Rick Dyer and Matthew Whitten. These two had long since pronounced themselves master Bigfoot hunters and claimed that they had been hunting the beast for years. On July 9th, the two individuals released information stating that they had finally found and killed a Sasquatch in northern Georgia. The duo managed to use the supposed body to garner the attention of famed Bigfoot enthusiast and CEO of Searching for Bigfoot Inc., Tom Biscardi, as well as several major news syndicates. The two men claimed they had frozen the body shortly after the shooting, yet refused to release the body. After negotiating with Mr. Biscardi, Matthew Whitten and Rick Dyer were given $50,000 as a gesture of good faith, and the body was released. Unfortunately for Tom Biscardi, the thawed-out body was found to be a hollow rubber mannequin. However, this failure did not discourage Tom, nor other die-hard Bigfoot enthusiasts, and they continue their search for the hairy hominids to this day. Moreover, Searching for Bigfoot Inc. and other companies have been able to work together since then to come up with several theories as to where the Sasquatch may have come from, and why it is so difficult to find. One of the more popular theories states that the creatures are, in fact, not that different from humans at all. This theory posits that these forest men might, in fact, be a living example of Paranthropus. The family of Paranthropus refers to those hominids that were extinct before humans came into being, a sort of evolutionary link, if you will. It seems possible that early hominids are not entirely extinct as was previously supposed. Rather, a small group of survivors could have formed their own hidden civilization, using their relatively advanced intellect to hide from the humans that tried to find them. It would also lend credence to the many Native American stories that referred to the Sasquatch as elder brothers, as they would, in fact, be the predecessors of humanity. Of course, these theories don't change the facts. Humanity still has absolutely no solid evidence concerning the existence of Bigfoot, which makes questions on the nature of their existence very difficult to answer. Perhaps these creatures are spiritual in nature, and they utilize unknown methods to hide themselves from the unworthy. Perhaps they are man's elder siblings and are simply more careful than we are meticulous. Perhaps they used to roam the earth and died out recently, which is why we simply can't find evidence. Whatever the case, the legends still exist, and until truth is found, people will forever be searching for the truth behind Bigfoot.